Fresh Start fam, welcome back to my channel. My name is April and this is April's Fresh Start Budgets. Okay guys, I am going to give you the total cost of what my vacation cost. I will tell you a little bit about the vacation and tell you the cost breakdown of what everything what we spent on everything. And if you don't want to hear about the vacation, see some pictures and hear the cost breakdown of every item, I will insert a timestamp here, which will tell you where in the video to go to just see the final number of what it cost. But let me tell you this, we did 7 days on Icon of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship, for 3 people in an ocean view balcony. So just telling you that. So if you want to see the timestamp of where we're total spent was, I'll put that right here. Otherwise, let's get started on the breakdown. Okay, so my family of 3, that is myself, my husband, and my youngest son. My oldest son did not go because number 1, he is 21, he has his own friends, and he has lots of travel plans with his friends for the year. So he did not have enough vacation time at work to come with us on this trip and do all the plans that he had for his friends. So he had to choose, and he chose to hang out with his friends. Go figure, he's 21. He is going with me on my dad's birthday sailing next winter. That is January of 2026. So that'll be his first cruise. But for this Icon of the Seas sailing, this was just myself, my husband, and my youngest son, who's 8. It is the world's largest cruise ship. Again, this was a family of 3, but we did have a kids sail free promo. Royal Caribbean does often offer that promo, and it is for anybody under the age of 12. So since Junior is 8, we got that promo. And I told my husband, I said, after Junior's 12, we're either going to have to cruise less often or we're going to have to go on some of the older ships that aren't as expensive, because if we had to pay for 3 people, we probably would not be able to cruise as often as we do. But we definitely had a wonderful time. We were able to get a good deal. So we were not upgraded, but we were able to upgrade ourselves to an ocean view balcony. Originally, when we thought we were going to book Icon, we were looking at just interior rooms, and I'm so happy that we were able to upgrade to an ocean view balcony. We had an absolutely spectacular location on the ship. We were right in between the Surfside neighborhood, which is like a family area. They have carousels and kid pools and restaurants and stuff back there. And then we were right next to Central Park, which is kind of like it explains. It seems like a Central Park where there's like winding pathways through nature, and they pipe in like sounds of fresh chirping birds, and soft jazz music is in there, and they have beautiful restaurants. And I absolutely love Central Park. I honestly have never been on a ship that had Central Park before, and it was honestly, both me and my husband agree, it was one of our favorite things. So we absolutely loved it. We were right next to both of those, so we were super, super happy. We loved the location of our ship. All right, so it was a 7-night cruise. We went to St. Martin, St. Thomas, and Perfect Day at CocoCay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island. And let's go ahead and get started. So the cruise fare itself, like I said, we were able to get the kids sail free promo, but it still cost us $4,864.16. And that is for mostly myself and my husband. I did have a discount through the casino. So it was a 10% discount, but yeah, that's the final number. It was $4,864.16. But we always know that that's not the final number. The final number includes airfare and hotel and food and everything like that. While you're on the ship, all the food is taken care of, but obviously you need to eat getting there and getting home. So all right, so airport breakfast. That was pretty expensive, obviously. We go from Cleveland Hopkins to Fort Lauderdale. We left at 5 in the morning, and when we got to the airport, we decided to eat. Junior got himself an Annie Ann's soft pretzel. I think I just got snacks from that Hudson News stand, and my husband got a breakfast, I think, Cuban sandwich or something like that. Oh, and then, of course, I had to get my coffee. But we took United Airlines, and it was a direct flight from Cleveland to Fort Lauderdale for 3 people. We did pay for extra legroom seats and bags, so our total cost there was $1,141. That's a little pricey, but part of the reason why we did that was because number one, we got the seats all together, and number two, we got the exact time that we wanted. We got there at about 11 in the morning into Fort Lauderdale, so we had the whole day in Fort Lauderdale. And we had a hotel that was the AC Marriott Fort Lauderdale Airport. It was $467.65. That's very, very pricey for an hotel that I would normally pay for. It did include airport shuttle and a breakfast package, but it was, I mean, everything in the area was just outrageously expensive for hotels. So this was honestly one of the more affordable ones that I could find, but we did love this hotel. This hotel had a rooftop pool, and it was in a very nice like shopping district area. So we were able to walk around and check out the shops. They had a Haagen-Dazs ice cream shop. They had fountains in the area. It was actually very, very nice. I told my husband, I said, even though it was pricey, if we were to ever sail out of Fort Lauderdale or sail out of Miami again, I would probably be inclined to stay at this same hotel, same area, because it was very nice. We did get lunch in Fort Lauderdale, and it was $67.38. And then we got dinner. Actually, after the price of the lunch, we decided we're walking to McDonald's. We're not paying another $70 for dinner or more, probably, because it would have been dinner prices. So we ended up walking to McDonald's, which wasn't too bad. It was probably like a mile each way, maybe less, and just got a cheap dinner there. So it was a very walkable neighborhood. The weather was absolutely perfect the entire time that we cruised, so we were very lucky in that. So yeah, we walked to McDonald's for dinner because we didn't want to pay that prices again. And then we took an Uber from Fort Lauderdale to the Miami cruise port. So it was $101.06. This included the tip. This Uber driver, he had over 11,000 rides on his, he was fantastic. The first time we ever cruised, we cruised out of Miami, and we rented a car in Tampa, went to Legoland, and then drove to Miami. And we had perfect driving conditions the entire way, zero traffic until you get to Miami-Dade. And of course, anybody that's in Florida knows that the traffic in that area is just absolutely horrible. So we had no traffic until we got to Miami-Dade County, and then it was bumper to bumper, and I absolutely hated navigating in it. And so this time we decided to Uber, and our Uber driver was absolutely fantastic. We heard about, and actually, so the day that we were leaving from port, Miami, it's number one, it's the busiest cruise port in the world. And number two, it was actually the Port of Miami's world record setting day for busy. They had a record number of 10 ships in port that day. And our Uber driver was absolutely fantastic. He didn't hit any traffic. He was talkative the whole time with us. I tipped him very well. I think I gave him an extra cash tip as well, and I did include that in there, but he was just wonderful. He was a wonderful driver. So we definitely recommend Ubering in Miami instead of trying to drive yourself, because that was horrible. We got the drink package for 2 adults. That is the $1,271.76. We did not get it for Junior because he pretty much was drinking water, or he would have a tea, and every once in a while he would get a chocolate milk from the buffet, and that was included. So he didn't feel the need. He's not a big soda drinker to get any sort of drink package, but we did buy a couple of drinks for him, and you'll see that later on when he wanted to have a mocktail. So it was just myself and my husband, but that entitled us to unlimited alcoholic beverages, soda pack. And I showed you guys in my Savings Challenge Saturday video, the coffee mug that you get, or not the coffee mug. I was using it as a coffee mug on Saturday, but the soda pop mug that you get. So that's what you get for that. And then we got wow bands. Those are $10 each. What a wow band is it's this. So it is a bracelet that you can wear, and it's got this RFID chip in it. And so anytime you want to get into your room, you can use this to get into your room. You just put it on your wrist and then you scan at the door. And anytime you want to get a drink, you just use this. So it acts on as your key card on the ship. So the only thing you couldn't use it for is you couldn't use this to get on the ship after when you were in port. You had to have your actual sign and sail card. But this worked while you were on the ship for purchases, for your beverages, and as getting into your room. So we got these. The nice thing about this one is I can use it on future cruises. I just have to go to the customer service desk and say, hey, here's my card, here's my WOW band, can you hook them up? So they'll be able to use that. We'll be able to use that. So I got one and my husband got one as well. All right, so Crown's Edge, which is the zip line over the side of the ship experience. Junior and I were going to do that together, and unfortunately, the first day we were going to do it this day 2 on the ship. It was our first sea day. We were going to do it day 2, and we went up there to sign in, and they said the winds are too high. We can't do it. Let's reschedule you. So we rescheduled for later that day. It didn't work. Rescheduled for the next day. Again, didn't work because of the winds. Rescheduled for a port day because they said sometimes in port the winds aren't that bad. So we rescheduled for a port day and that still didn't work. So at that point we were just like, okay, this is our 4th attempt. Let's just refund it. So that's what we did. We just had it refunded. I am disappointed in that. I know some people on our sailing did get to do it, but not a lot of people. So we were kind of disappointed in that. My husband got wings at Playmakers. That is the sports bar. The wings are not something that's an included part of the food on a cruise ship, but he wanted to try the wings. He said they were just meh, but he did get wings at Playmakers. At Trellis Bar. So Trellis Bar is in Central Park, and it is a very beautiful bar. And then they also have like a secret, they call it a secret menu because it's not like in the app where you can see it, but the food from the secret menu is actually made by the people at Chops Grill, which is a specialty steakhouse on the ship. So if you order the steak bites, which we got, the like mac and cheese fritters, which we got, and then there was something else that we got, and I can't remember what it was, but we got 3 things from Trellis Bar, and the steak bites were phenomenal. That food was really, really good. And we didn't have to pay. I think the Chops Grill is normally like $60 per person, but all 3 of us ate this food and it was only $37. So to us to try Chops for that price, it was well worth it. So that was awesome. That food was really, really, really good. We did have a specialty dinner at the Izumi Hibachi. So Junior's favorite food is hibachi, and we decided to surprise him, and for our Valentine's Day family meal, we decided to eat at Izumi Hibachi. We had an absolutely fantastic time. My husband got the beef tenderloin, which was, I believe it was a filet mignon that day, and he said it was literally the best steak he had ever eaten. He gave me a piece, and even though on cruise ships I am seafood all the way, I do regret not getting the beef tenderloin as well, because it was definitely, he gave me 1 piece and it was literally the best bite of steak I've ever had in my entire life. And even Junior, my husband gave Junior a piece, and Junior said that he forgot all his memories because the steak was so good, his mind melted. So we have still been dreaming about Izumi Hibachi ever since. So we had such a wonderful time. And of course they, when you go to Hibachi, they have you catch either broccoli or shrimp or something like that. My husband is so good at it, and they threw egg at this one. He caught the egg, and I, of course, have never caught any of it and still haven't. And Junior has caught in the past, but he didn't catch this time. So that's okay. We had a wonderful time. Izumi was an absolutely fantastic experience. We absolutely love that. Tip for the hibachi chef and the waiter was an extra $30, and they were well worth it. The show was phenomenal that they put on, so we had a great time doing that. We spent $2 in the arcade because they, of course, had an arcade machine where you could get cruise ducks, and Junior wanted one that was gold with a emblem of the Royal Caribbean Crown and Anchor on it, so we, of course, had to do that. And then Junior got some mocktails with me. They had a few places in Surfside, which is a kids area. They had a place called the Lemonade or the Lemon Post, where they had kid-friendly cocktails and they had adult cocktails. So Junior thought it was neat to be able to, belly up to the bar with mom and dad and have a drink. And then he did the same at the Swim and Tonic swim up bar. We got him a Sprite at that one, but obviously he didn't have the drink package, so it was a couple bucks for that. And he just thought it was neat to kind of hang out with the grown-ups and, drink a soda, and felt like a big guy, so that was neat. All right, let's go to the next page. Okay, souvenirs on the ship. I got 4 t-shirts. They, of course, have every once in a while 2 for $30 t-shirt sales. And so I hit that up twice. I got 2 t-shirts for my husband, 1 t-shirt for my oldest son, Randy, since it'll be his first sailing next year. I wanted to get him a royal shirt to wear, and then 1 shirt for my niece, and it'll be her first sailing next year. So I wanted to get her a shirt that she could wear on her first sailing next year as well. So 4 t-shirts for $60. I got 2 sweatshirts for myself. Those were buy one, get one free, but obviously I had to be charged for the pricier one, and it was $60. And then my husband got a ship model, which was $80. That's his souvenir that he gets on every sailing. He always gets a ship model. So tips on the ship, including the room steward and just $1 or $2 for bartenders here and there, totaled $120. And then let's talk about the ports. So the first port we went to was St. Martin. It was absolutely beautiful weather that day. We thought about doing the water taxi. So when you get off at the port, you walk down the pier, and then you walk through the port town, and they have a place where you can get a water taxi, and it's $7 each person, but that's round trip. So it would have been $21. But we saw a couple YouTube videos that said, if you just walk out of the port and then you walk the road right in front of the mountain, you could get there in under a half a mile on foot. Now, some people don't want to do that either because of mobility issues or because, when you get to the town and the area where the water taxi will take you, and then you spend all day swimming and drinking, and the last thing you want to do is walk a half a mile back to the ship. But we knew we probably weren't going to stay in port all day. We weren't going to overdo it with the drinking, so we were fine with walking. And it was definitely a hot, long walk back to the ship, but we were able to do it and save ourselves $21. When we got to St. Martin, we got 2 beach chairs, which came with 4 drinks, and that was $45. We went to the Holland House in Phillipsburg, and they had a deal there. It was actually very nice. We got right up against the water. There was a little bit of rain that day very early on, but it came and went, and then we had absolutely fantastic weather for the rest of the day, and it was lovely. We did order a couple bottled waters for Junior, and that was $5. We got drinks at the Dutch Blonde. I was hoping to have some local beers, but they didn't have the drink that they make at the Dutch Blonde. I want to say it is called the Dutch Blonde beer. So I just got like a local Cara beer, and that was fine. So we just had a couple drinks there, and it was $20 plus the tip that we gave her, or $20 including the tip. So my husband, unfortunately, had his sunglasses get broken, so he ended up buying a new pair of sunglasses for $25 in St. Martin. And then, like I said, we tipped the people that gave us the water and the beach chairs, so that was another $10. So that is what we did in St. Martin. And then in St. Thomas, we had a short day in St. Thomas. We were only there from like 8 a.m. until like 1 p.m., so we didn't have a very long day. We knew, since it was our first time ever going to St. Thomas, that we wanted to check out Megan's Bay. So that's what we did. We took a taxi to Megan's Bay. We did not realize how expensive that was going to be. It was $90 to get a taxi to Megan's Bay. $45 there, $45 back, $15 per person times 3 people, $45 each way. So $90 just for a taxi to Megan's Bay. That was outrageously expensive. We honestly thought that we were going to go to a couple places, but when we realized the price of the taxi, we were like, okay, we're going to Megan's Bay and then we're going right back to the ship. We're not paying for another taxi just to take us to a souvenir shop. No, we're not doing that. And then even at Megan's Bay, we had to pay admission. It's $7 per person. Children under the age of 12, I believe, are free. So we didn't have to pay for junior, but it was $14 for even just to get into Megan's Bay. And then we got one beach chair, and it was no umbrella, no nothing, just a beach chair, and it was $21. We did get an ornament that was a souvenir because I always have to get a Christmas ornament indicating what we did that year. And so we got a St. Thomas Christmas ornament for a souvenir. Megan's Bay was a lot of fun. We did see some really good fish under the water. There were these tiny fish that the birds were just dive bombing for. That was the first thing we noticed when we pull up. There's these huge like pelicans and these other birds. I don't even know what these other birds were. If you guys know, please let me know in the comments below. But these birds were nuts. They were not afraid of people, and they were dive bombing for these fish right by the people. In fact, my husband took a video of me and Junior, and I'm helping like guiding Junior while he's snorkeling. And these birds are just dive bombing for fish right next to us. It was nuts. And then, so you'd see these fish that the birds were dive bombing for. And then every once in a while, you'd see like a huge fish that was like this big swimming by. So it was nuts. It was a lot of fun though. It was a lot of fun at St. Thomas at Megan's Bay. We did not see sea turtles. We were really hoping to see sea turtles. It was a little rainy when we first got there. So the water wasn't super clear. And then there was like a closed off area that was for like excursion people only, and they were on that side, and that was where a lot of the rocks were and a lot of the seagrass was. So somebody said that that's the area that you could see the sea turtles, but that area is closed off for excursions only, and that's why they do it, is because that's the area that the sea turtles are in. So I was kind of disappointed by that we couldn't go over there and see the sea turtles or, snorkel in that area, but it is what it is. We still had a good time. So that's what we did at St. Thomas. We did go to CocoCay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island. We did the up, and away excursion. We tried to do this 2 years ago when we first went to CocoCay, and it was too windy. So I was really thinking that this was going to get canceled because we couldn't do Crown's Edge on the ship. But we were able to do up, and away. My husband, when we got off the island, noticed that the balloon was going up. It is a helium balloon, like hot air balloon type of thing that takes you 420 some feet in the air. Well, he noticed that they were like testing it. So he was like, you guys go find a place by the beach. I'm going to go over to up, and away and ask them, hey, are you operational today? So I get situated at the beach chair, put sunscreen on myself and Junior, and then I hear my phone ringing. I answer the phone and my husband goes, the worker said they are running it, and if you guys come right now, they can get us on by ourselves. So we literally, I grabbed Junior, threw his shoes on, and we ran over to up, and away, and we were able to go. Now, the guy said, he goes, I can't take you the full 420 feet in the air because of the wind today. He goes, but I could take you 300. And we're like, fine. We got to do the experience by ourselves. I think normally this experience can hold 20 people, but it was literally just the three of us and the one worker. We saw a manatee from up there. We had the most incredible views. It was absolutely mind-blowing experience. If you ever go to CocoCay, I highly recommend the up, and away experience. If you're not afraid of heights. I asked Randy if he wants to do it when we go to CocoCay, and he said, no way, he's afraid of heights. So probably won't do it with Randy, but it was definitely worth it. Even Junior, when he got down, and I did feel bad because that was the day that Junior started to not feel good. And he was nervous about going up so high. So when we got down, he was like, I need to sit and relax for a while. Because his stomach was all in knots from being so scared going up that high. But he did so good. And he even said it was incredible. So well, that was the only thing that we paid for in CocoCay because we it's Royal Caribbean's private island. So we had the drink package. We had all the food included. So that was it. So now we are going to talk about the saddest part of the ship, which is getting off the ship. We took an Uber from Miami cruise port to Fort Lauderdale. I was surprised at two things with Icon. Number one, it is the fastest I have ever been able to get on a ship. I don't think, other than when they scanned our passports in, that we even stopped walking. They literally had it was the most efficient thing ever. They had so many people that were working in the Miami terminal that were scanning your stuff, taking your bags, helping you get in the lines that you needed to get into. And we were I think our check-in time was 11:30, and that was the earliest check-in time that you had. And I think we were on the ship by 10:40, to be honest with you. It was the most efficient system ever. And getting off was the same way too. We thought we would set up our Uber for 8:30, and we're like, okay, well, just in case there's, lines getting off the ship, let's go at like 7:30 to start to get off the ship. Just in case it takes us like an hour to get off the ship, we don't want to miss our Uber. We were off the ship in like 5 minutes. I'm not kidding you. I don't think we stopped. So we were able to get on and off the ship so fast. It was so efficient. So we ended up having quite a lengthy wait for our Uber driver, but he did come early. So that was why I tipped him well too. And again, he navigated Miami super well, got us to Fort Lauderdale Airport. So that was $101.42. Then we got airport snacks. Again, at this point, I was not feeling great. Junior was not feeling great. So we got gum, a sandwich to share, and we got bottled water. So it was $26 for that. And then we took a Spirit flight home from Fort Lauderdale, direct flight from Fort Lauderdale to Cleveland, including bags and an extra legroom seat for my husband. It was $545.97, significantly by half of what it was on United. However, this flight we liked because the time was absolutely perfect. The seats were not comfortable at all. I felt cramped and everything, but that's kind of just what you get with Spirit. It is what it is. I don't mind flying Spirit. I obviously prefer to fly United. That's the airline that my sister works for. I do prefer to fly United because you get beverages on the flight and snacks and everything like that. And let's face it, my sister works on the airline. She can usually have the flight attendants notified that I'm on the flight, and they can take care of me, if you know what I mean. So I prefer to fly United, but Spirit is if I have to pay for it, or if the, not if I have to pay for it, because I have to pay for United anyways, but if the flight times are convenient, I will fly Spirit, and it is significantly less money by half. I told my husband, he even said, he goes, I think this was the first time my husband had ever flown United. And he goes, this was a great flight. And I said, yeah, it is a really good flight. And I go, but it's double the price of what Spirit was. And he goes, oh, yeah, I don't know. But it wasn't a bad flight. I mean, it just, the seats are not comfortable. You have to pay for every stinking little thing, but it is what it is. You know what if that's what you know that going into it, then be prepared for that. So, all right, so let's do the final number. Are you ready? So for 7 days, again, world's biggest cruise ship, family of 3, ocean view balcony, 7 nights sailing to St. Martin, St. Thomas, perfect day at CocoCay, including the drink package and an overnight stay in Fort Lauderdale. All right, April, make sure you go back and you put this time in, the timestamp thing. The total was $9,493.54. Yes, it was very, very, very expensive. So we have a rule of thumb in my family that whatever the cruise fare is, double it, because that's what it's going to be for us to actually get there. So whatever the cruise fare is, our cruise fare was $4,864. Essentially, you double it. That's how much our total cost is going to be. So we kind of knew going into this that it was probably going to be a $10,000 trip. We used most of my husband's bonus checks to cover these things. And then obviously we did savings challenges and scrimped and saved as much as possible. Was Icon of the Seas worth that significant of a price jump? We had done a few other sailings before, and I don't think we've ever paid more than $5,000, $6,000 altogether. Icon of the Seas was very, very, very nice ship. Would I do it again? Yes. Would I do it again at a price of $9,493? I don't think so. It was very, so here's the other thing too. The Icon sister ship that's coming out, Star of the Seas. So we booked Icon in September. And that is technically, even though September was when we booked it, February is when we were going, that's very late for booking the sailing. If you book the sailing when it first comes out, like I booked Star, we got Star for, I think, 3,500. So if I had gotten Icon for 3,500, yes, I would say it was worth it. But we did not book Icon until very kind of late and close to sailing. So we had to pay, when the itineraries first come out is when the cheapest, and then the price goes up from there. So if I had gotten Icon for what I got Star with, yes, I would say it was 100% worth it. So can you get Icon for way cheaper? Absolutely. And that is what I told my husband we need to do. We pretty much need to book the sailings when the itineraries first come out and it's super cheap. And then just know that we have 2 years to pay for it. So that is how we have it for Star. We have 2 years until we sail for Star, and we have a really good price on Star. So, but again, it's going to be 3,500. So that total sailing will probably be about 7,000 for that one. So we actually don't know if we're going to do the drink package. We did get the drink package on this one. Do I think we drank $1,200 worth of drinks? No, I don't think we did. One of the things that my husband and I said is that, at our age, in our mid 40s, maybe the drink package isn't as worth it for us, and maybe the Wi-Fi package is, because we would prefer to be connected to back home versus connected to a cocktail. We did enjoy cocktails, but I probably would say like we would be fine with doing like $500 worth of drinks. But part of the reason why we do that is so that, number one, we don't have to worry about a bill when you get to the end. You don't have to worry about, ooh, I want a drink, but I don't want to pay that $15 right now. You just know you've already got it paid for. Get whatever the heck you want. So I probably would say maybe, and like I said, we have 2 years to think about it, but maybe when we do Star, we don't do the drink package. We also said that maybe we would be fine with an interior room, because my husband and I found a spot although we do have a balcony on Star, we did find a spot on Icon at the back of the ship by Surfside, where we would sit and enjoy coffee and watch the sunrise. And it was very, very not busy back there. Like because of the neighborhoods, even though there's like 10,000 people on this ship, because of the neighborhoods that they have set up, you never feel cramped. You know what I mean? You never feel like you're overwhelmingly crowded. You can always find a beach chair or a lounge chair. Maybe, during peak hours, the water slide wait was astronomically long. The one day that me and Junior tried to go on the water slides, it was day 2. My husband doesn't sleep very well on cruise ships. We tried to go on the water slides and it was like an hour and we got on 2. So we just said, okay, we'll try those at a different time. We ended up never going back and doing any more. But, there are certain things that, yes, you're going to have a wait for, but honestly, they did such a good job. Me and my husband both said several times to each other, they listened and they did such a good job of, this needs work and this needs work. One of my favorite things on this ship were the elevators. So there's no buttons inside the elevators. You go up to this little computer and there's several of them in the elevator bank lobby area, and you push the floor you want to go to and it will tell you go to elevator A, go to elevator B, and then you go to that elevator and then it flashes and dings when the elevator's coming. And then you get on and it takes you right to your floor. So it's so convenient. They fixed the elevator system because that's a problem on cruise ships. They fixed so many other things, like with storage in the room and connectivity in the room with outlets and stuff. They thought of so much, and it was absolutely wonderful. So Icon of the Seas is an absolutely wonderful, wonderful cruise ship. We had a fantastic time. We cannot wait to do Star. But I don't know if I would pay $5,000 for that one again, to be honest with you. If you could get a deal and get it for under $4,000, would I say that's worth it? Yes, go for it. But this is a family of 3. So obviously if you have a family of 7, you're probably not going to get it under $4,000. But, you know, for a family of 3 or, you know, possibly 2 parents, 2 kids, could you get it under 4? Yes, if you book early, you know what I mean? And that way you have the long time to pay it off as well. So that is how much our sailing on Icon of the Seas cost. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you are planning a trip on any type of cruise ship, please let me know. I love to hear about everybody's sailings and everybody's cruises. And what was your favorite port? Obviously, our favorite port is CocoCay. The food there is absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that it's all included, it's like, holy smokes, this is amazing. So that is our favorite cruise port is CocoCay or Ocean Cay, which is MSC's private island. But we absolutely love those. This was an absolutely fantastic trip, and we will have memories for a lifetime off of this. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.